Welcome to GoToMeeting, online meetings made easy. There are 8 other callers on the call.
A quick overview of how you're doing, how your assets, what's the status on your assets, so you know your total value of your assets on the top left. It gives you a breakdown of your active assets disposed in terms of values and in terms of count. And then for capital cost allowance calculation, so this software takes care of it. So as long as you put them in the proper clause, and you can see here it shows you the assets percentage in a pie chart in the different clauses, clause 1, clause 8, clause 10, clause other, things like that. Gives you some information on latest activity. So latest depreciation was run on this, last period close. There's a period close. So period close is just something that after you have done your depreciation, things like that, you want to lock. You can lock so that you don't run depreciation again. So you can close the period. You can reopen it, that's no problem, but you can just close it as a safeguard. Lost asset purchase, disposed, transferred, etc. And here you have depreciation comparison in terms of acquired value and accumulated depreciation. So you get an idea very quickly by looking at this snapshot, and then you can close it. As I said, if you don't want to see this every time, you can just go to your preferences here, change user preferences, and say, hey, I don't want this automatically show snapshots. If you don't want this, just take it out. So you have some preferences here that you can manage. All right. So now we are on, and that's what I said earlier. This product works. This product, when you open it, you're like in a spreadsheet. So right away, it can show you all the assets. So what you're looking here, I have 87 assets. This is just a test database that comes with the system. You can create your own database. You can create your own organization. So you can see here, I can open another. It's telling me it's going to close this one if I want to open another one. So you can have multiple companies and in one database. So in this database right now, I have 3 companies. If I go to another database, I might have 1 or 2, depending. This is FAS, so I was just playing with this. I don't know when, right? So this is how the data is structured. You have a database, and in the database, you have multiple companies, right? So I'm going to open this one again. So that's how you open your fixed asset database. As soon as you open it, it shows you these assets. And so let's take any one of those assets. Let's just click on any one of them. Now we're going in the detailed view of the asset. So an asset in Sage FAS has a system number. This is the system number, number 8. It also has a asset ID. So we have on my screen, you have 2 categories of information. You have general information on the top, and then in the lower part, you have the book information, the information that really matters to depreciation and book value, etc. So on the top, you have the asset ID, you have a fund, you have a location, where is the asset located, in which department, so you can manage those different lists, I can call it, so department, location, etc. And then you have clause, you have purchase order. So if you want to save a purchase order number with an asset, you can. You want to save a vendor, you can. Replacement value, what is the replacement value of the asset? Invoice number, so you can save the invoice number so that you don't need to go and look for it again later. And you can have select whether this asset is capitalized or expense. And there are a few other fields. Tax clause, warranty date.
Just a question. You've got them, putting in the purchase order at the invoice. Is that a re-invoice, or is that some kind of transfer to or from Timberline? How does that come in?
No, this you have to enter manually.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to...
Yeah. Yeah, there's no integration to Timberline unless we develop something ourselves on purpose. So
Okay.
yeah. And then on the right, you will have the description of the asset, which is very important, and then you will have these three GL accounts that you need to put in. So you need to tell the system what is the asset account, what is the accumulated depreciation account, and what is the expense account. So these three accounts, you need to put them, and then you put the other information. So the quantity of the asset is 1. If there's any serial number, who is the owner, override replacement value, model number, and there's a few customized fields. I'll show you later where are these customized fields. These are just like optional fields, and the invoice date. So these are like general information you can save. Then you go down below. Here there are 3 books. Typically people just use one. Okay, the other 2 just mirror the first one. But most of our clients, if not all, just use one. But if you have any reason to use a second book or third book, so you can call it budgetary 1 or 2. And so you can just use one. And here you're going to start putting the information that's going to affect any dollar value. So you have like the property type, it's depreciable. If it's non-depreciable, you don't want to run depreciation on it, you just want to enter this asset just to be in the register, you can do that, just select non-depreciable. Then place in service date. So you might have purchased an asset and you put the invoice date above, but maybe you're not starting to use the asset until a later date. So the system, this place in service date is used to start calculating depreciation. So that's the purpose of it. So put when do you want to start calculating depreciation. And then the next thing is acquisition value. Put the value of the asset. How much did you purchase it? Depreciation method. Tell the system what is the depreciation method. And you have straight line full months, straight line half year. You have declining balance, full months, half year. So you have a bunch that you can use. So most famous are straight line or straight line full months. What is the estimated life? 10 years or 5 years. So you can change it. You can put your estimated life here. And then salvage value. So at the end of the asset life, how much you think it will be worth. You put it here. Those beginning dates are like, this is more when we are transferring asset from another system, and we want to tell the system since when this asset. So anything that you're transferring from an existing system, you need to feed in this information here. So your year-to-date, your beginning date that you started depreciating this asset, your year-to-date depreciation from the other system. So let's say you already depreciated 2,000 from the other system, put 2,000 here, and total accumulated for this asset, put it here. So you need to transfer this information from if it's an existing asset. If it's a new asset, you don't need to. So these are the kind of information you're going to put in here. Okay. Right, and as you go down, you will see on this asset, the current year-to-date depreciation is $162. Current accumulated is this. Current true date. True date means depreciation has been run up to that date. The net book value of the asset. So that's what is left. Period close date. So all this information will be here. So this just means that there was no closing has been run. That's what it means. That's why it's blank. So these are the kind of information you're going to have on here. So this is a detailed view. You can go to, now I was on the main tab. You can go to transactions. Okay. So any transactions that you have run on this will show up here. Okay. If you want to put any notes, you can add notes. All right, and it will show below. Images. If you want to save, if you want to attach an image of an asset, click on attach image. What was this asset? Mailroom equipment. So put a name and go and browse from your computer and get that thing. I'm just taking something that is not an image here. So browse for the image and save it. So that image will show up here. So if we browse this one, for example, which is just a PDF document. So here it shows on my right what it is, but really that's not. So you're going to put a proper image, and then history, you will have any history information. Okay, so you will get detailed information about an asset once you are in detail view. If you want to go back to your asset list, just click on asset list, say yes, and now I am back on my asset list. So if you have an image, you can see that the column now that they added in this version, this column here, this column with a attachment icon, if I can call it, that tells me that I have an image for this, and the column on the left, this is to tell me there are nodes for this asset. So these are the information. You can quickly browse through it, okay, and you can export to Excel, you can print. So it's very user-friendly. It's very user-friendly. If you just need something on a standalone, if you don't mind working standalone, and you can export any depreciation calculation that you're doing, you can export to these softwares, to these packages. So say for us, we use a lot of Sage 300. I know you are using Timberline. Okay. All right. So now let's go and see calculating depreciation. So if you need to, when you need to calculate depreciation, you can click on this icon here, or on this button here, calculate depreciation, and it says, okay, let's see first on what group of assets are you going to calculate depreciation. So you can say active assets. I'm going to do for these books. Calculate depreciation up to what period? Okay. I think it was already done for to December, but let me just try it. Okay, so it will calculate it, and it will show me here. Okay. So it gives me the information, the acquired value, prior accumulated depreciation, depreciation this one that I'm doing right now, and current year-to-date depreciation, etc., etc. Okay. So this is the kind of information I can get quickly. And so now you don't need to do it on all assets. You can group your assets and do it on a certain group only if you need to. Okay. All right. In case you need to, this. Okay. Now, so this is for depreciation. If you need to dispose of an asset, you can, now look at this. There's a certain asset which is highlighted here. So that's the current asset right now. So if you need to dispose an asset, you can say dispose. It will dispose the asset. You can say how much. So here, select sale, abandonment, other, what is it? Partial disposal or no? What's the proceeds? Right? So let's say $500 because I see the net book value is $841. Non-cash proceeds. So maybe I'm getting another $50 for something else. And then any expenses I have to incur in order to make that sale. So maybe I have to truck the asset to the customer or something like that. So and then I can press OK. Right, so that's how I can do a dispose asset. Okay. I can transfer an asset as well. So if I want to transfer an asset to a different location, okay, transfer date, by location, transfer from HQ to a different location. All right. Here we go. So where am I transferring it to? Partial, etc. So it's going to take care of the transfer. Okay. So this asset has been transferred. Now I can go to the, see, that's what I was talking before. I can go to the transactions and it will tell me, look, this asset has been transferred. There are some transactions that have been going on. So original asset, transferred asset, etc. This asset has been transferred from HQ to DO. All right. If you need to reset your depreciation, let's say you just started, depreciation is not calculating as you expected, maybe the dollar value were wrong, you want to reset, go ahead and reset depreciation. Now, remember I was talking about period close? So you can say, hey, I want to reset everything until the last period close. Or I want to reset everything from beginning date. Remember when you transferred information from your Excel to this system, I want to reset everything from that date. Or reset from the place in service date. So you have a couple of options. From when do you want to reset? So you can do that and it will take care of it. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Nope. Okay.
The general ledger code you've got, presumably you have to enter that into the...
You have to, yes, you have to maintain that. So these are maintained here. You have, so all these lists, so you will go under customize fields, and here they are. So you go to GL accumulated account, GL asset account, GL expense account. So you take each one of these and you go to Smart List Manager and you punch in those numbers. So come here, type in your numbers. I'm just inventing numbers here. Just add those. So you maintain your list as I'm doing right now. And when you're creating your asset, you select it. So there's no validation because there's no tight integration with your ERP system. So this is a very good fixed asset software. I like it as long as you work, but there's not much integration as Norming has with Sage 300. But I know you're using Timberline, but this one is out of the box. But that's my point. But in terms of fixed assets, it's very, very good. But in terms of integration, not very strong. So same thing for this, maintain your smart list. Similarly, for anything else, like location, maintain your list. Anything else, everything else, you create your own list. Clauses, asset clauses, etc. So you maintain those lists yourself and then you select it. Now, maybe you would probably, for sure, you would want sometimes to, here are the things that I was talking, under depreciation menu, you have depreciate, you have period close. So if you want to say, hey, I want to lock everything that I have been doing so far under depreciation, I want to do a close on it, like save it, so that nobody comes to tamper with it, so you can do that. Okay, so it will ask you up to when do you want to do it. I say, okay, I want to do it until December 2013. So you just go ahead and do it. Okay. You want to reset depreciation. Sometimes clients call me and I walk them, and this solves a lot of their problems. They put the asset wrong, so they can come back here and say, hey, I want to reset until period close date, and then they will run their depreciation again. Okay. Now, what about projection? If you want to run depreciation projection, so go ahead, go to annual projection. There's annual, there is monthly. So first of all, you have this. You can say here, I want to do what are the group of assets you want to run it on. So probably you will select active assets. Again, the books that I talked before, financial, and project for fiscal year up to this or a different date. So you can do that as well. I want to project until June. Okay. And here we go. And then I say run my report. So it will go and do a projection for you and come and tell you how much the projection is. $119,602. Okay. Okay. Now let me just do this. Projection. What's the date? This. There we go. So, yeah. So you can make your selection, or you can say active assets, and it's the same thing. Okay. So that was one. You can also do a monthly projection. Okay, active assets, financial, until June. And my report. So this one is a monthly projection. So I said up to 30 June 2014, and it gives me this, and my total balances with with my other report, which was yearly, $119,602. So I can also get a monthly projection. All right, and then quick projection is just for one asset. So when you select one asset, quick projection, it just gives you for that one asset only. There you go. So one asset only, you just click on quick projection and it gives it to you. Okay. All right. So that's under projection, and the last thing is that's depreciation for CCA. That's called TS2, 8 manager, that's how they call it. And you can add a certain year. So this is for capital cost allowance. Most people don't do that. I don't have any client who does that, but if you need it, it's here. Especially in this product, it's here because this is a product for, it's a Canadian version. It's designed here. So you can run that, press OK, and press OK here, and it will come and give you a report like this also for clause 31, for clause 2, for clause 3, and depreciated cost of acquisitions during the year, net adjustment proceeds, and things like that. So I'm sure you can relate to this if you use this. If you do this every year, I'm sure you can see the format is very familiar. I don't know why my screen is flickering now. Never happened before. Maybe because of the GoToMeeting, there could be a frequency. Okay, so that's for the capital cost allowance calculation. It's inbuilt in the product. You just need to go and put for each asset, just go do your part, go and put the clause. I think there's a field here. Here's the field. You just go and put this clause. So classify your asset properly, and you will be able to do your capital cost allowance calculation. Every year there are updates that come up. If there's any changes on this in July or January, I don't know how often, you will have these updates and it will do it. All right, so let me go back to my asset list. Okay. Let me just take a look at this transfer. No. Okay, so yeah. So in terms of depreciation now, so this link, this post depreciation is this. So you have a link here where you can post your depreciation, as I said earlier. So we use typically Sage 300. That's for Sage ACPAC. So I saw there was Timberline before. I don't see Timberline right now. In earlier version, I know there was Timberline, so okay. But all right, any questions so far? Because I'm not hearing from you guys. Are you there?
I'm sorry, it's Jennifer here from Timmins. I did type in a question.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, the GL codes, when they get created from the finance side in Timberline, which is our current system,
yeah,
that will then integrate into this module to update?
It will not integrate automatically. You will have to come and populate them. So yeah, I can see your question here. So let me show you.
Yeah.
So it's under customize fields, and you will come here and take those, like you see those 3 fields, you will take them and you will say Smart List Manager, and I don't see an import for that. So you will come here and Smart List Manager, okay, and again I don't see an import. You will come here, you will add your account. So for example, let me just add 099 so that I can see it on top. So you will come here, you will say, hey, here are my account numbers. You will add it, and that's how it comes up. So you will first add these account numbers here quickly. Should not take too long because you will typically have a few. And once you added them here, then when you put a new asset, when you go and say, hey, I want to add a new asset, and I say, this is my ID, my description, and here you should see this GL asset account. Okay. You should see those accounts that you have added. You will see them. That's how you're going to come and select them here. So you come and select those accounts. It does not really validate it with your ERP system, because there's no tight integration between your ERP and Sage FAS. Yeah. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Simon, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just the current issue that we have now is when anything is updated in Timberline, people are forgetting or they miss it, whatever. It's not being updated in PMX. So that's one of the issues with running 2 systems, is one system gets updated but the other does not. So that would be my concern with this software.
Yeah, the lack of integration is going to be an issue. It's
yeah.
Practically standalone. So it's better than what we've got in terms of Excel. But
yeah, no, I agree with you. That's why we have 2 products. So here I'm able to press this, and I can leave it blank, and I can, yeah, I agree. It can be a problem. So that's why we have norming, fixed assets, and this one. So this one is out of the box because we also have a lot of clients who they want a very good fixed asset system, and that's what they want to track, and the ERP system is separate, and every month they just get a link of, they get a batch of what needs to a batch of journal entries to be posted in the ERP, and then they just go and enter it. Or if they're using Sage ACPAC, we still can do it. Sage ACPAC has a link here, Sage 300. But for you, yeah, you can put the account number, and then you can select it here, and then you can get a very high-level summary of what needs to be posted in GL and do it manually. Up to you. If not, norming fixed asset would be a better fit.
Just a tidbit. The Timberline integration is available. If you look at the menu, that's the Sage 300 construction. That's the name for it now. Okay, so if you look at the menu, that's the Timberline.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I knew there was Timberline before, so just rename it. Yeah, they renamed those products.
That's the Sage 300 construction.
Yeah, construction. Here we go. So, yeah. So, you just come here and say Sage 300 construction, and it will transfer everything that is depreciated for the month. It will transfer it to send to your Timberline. So it's here. We use this one because we use ACPAC. Yep. But in terms of fixed assets, it's a very good product. Especially if you do CCA calculation, this product takes care of it very well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So that's about depreciation, linking, customization. I talked to you. There's if you want to maintain depreciation methods, if you want to create your own depreciation methods, I find one here. There's one. You can come here and create your own, and you can tell the system what is the depreciation to run on each year. So, for example, this one is called offline. So, in the second year, they did not want to calculate depreciation. It's just it's just a scenario. So you can leave it blank, and it won't calculate it. Other things that you can maintain is group manager. So you can group your assets anywhere you want. So create a group. So create a group and add assets to that group. Okay. Or if you have a reason to make your own customized group, just come here, select the assets, click on you just click and create your own group. Okay. You can create your own group and then do your depreciation on that. Image manager, so you can enter an image and browse and save and browse for images and save them. So it's going to save the images here, and then later you can select those images for each of your assets. Okay. You have a bunch of reports here, standard reports. So there's a lot of reports. Disposal, transfers, file listing. Okay. So depreciation expense, for example, active assets. Okay, so for each asset, I can find out my depreciation expense report as of December 31st. Okay. And you don't need to close this to go somewhere else. You can just click here and disposal report. It came up blank. I knew that because we didn't select this. Okay. So these are the disposals I made. Okay, disposal report. So similarly, you can get a bunch of reports, partial transfer, net book value report. Just make sure you select that. There you go. Net book value. Okay. So there are plenty of reports. Plenty. Annual projection, changing capital assets. Okay. So that's for reports. Expense by location. Again, select your group. Location. Okay. It's going to be, should give me sorted by group, by location. This disposal, grand total. Wait a second. Accumulated depreciation. Okay. Okay. I was expecting this one to give me a total by location. Okay. Okay. Inactivate assets. You can inactivate them. Delete asset. Depreciation. So that's a bit a high-level overview of what the program is about, how it works. Any questions so far, or is there anything in particular you want me to show? Because that's a bit about this product.
It looks fair enough, but the lack of integration, you have to really think of whether you want to invest the time to set it up.
Yeah.
Setting up for an integrated product.
Okay.
And that's what, Simon, where we will work together.
Mm-hmm.
We will we'll work with the GL integration already. It doesn't mean that I'm just stopping the recording.